Fresh blood's not only good for your gene pool, but also for the international Heroes of the Storm scene. Like, having new teams in there is definitely going to shake up a couple of things. But now we see the ban and pick screen, and it is Battlefield of Eternity, chosen by SoA, actually. So maybe they finally find themselves in their comfort zone. Actually, it's funny that they also picked Brax's Holdout and then just got annihilated on it. Yeah.
Just they don't appear to care about that first pick much. They do get the double pick, which means you can build a comp for it, around that quite easily.
I'm just losing. I can't believe they chose Brex's Hold and then played like that on this.
It's fine. They thought it would work. Trust them. It worked in quick match, damn it. So, ladies and gentlemen, Battlefield of Eternity is going to be the map. It's going to be a 2-lane map, 2 immortals spawning in the middle, get them to half health, and the halftime show begins. If you kill the enemy's immortal first, yours spawns with a shield equal to the amount of health it had left when the opponent's one died, which will then push the lane with the most structures remaining in it for your opponent.
That indeed. Battlefield of Eternity, this is also a map that has suited the playstyle of CE very well, though. It's very similar to Brax's Holdout, indeed, in the fact that it's a 2-lane map, and the objective can actually get you ahead so far. So once again, a Sylvanas pick might be the golden option to go for, because if I was CE, I would be like, yo, you know what? Sylvanas actually worked pretty well last time, and we're playing on a similar battleground, so why not do the same thing again and really make those SoA guys regret their lives if they don't play well against it?
I don't know. We will see. We will see. We're going to be heading into the draft very shortly here, and it's going to be.
I want to see some Artanis here as well.
I would love to see some Artanis. Get a bit of that amateur opponent in. It is a lovely talent. Very strong.
I had something very evil in mind, and I'm not going to say it because I think SoA's already down on the ground. We don't want to hit them while they're on the ground, but amateur opponent could be pretty fitting.
SoA fans now.
Yeah, we're SoA fans for sure.
Yeah,
the Sons of Anarchy in Heroes of the Storm, at least.
Yeah, we need to stop stop putting them down, and we need to go by their team name and start over again with them. So SoA, they are going to have second ban here. CE with first ban, and this is a map where lots of just single target damage comes into effect. Greymane Valor with the Q builds. Heroes like that can just get good value onto the immortals. You see them a lot. Li Ming, also more popular here than other maps.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Single target poke.
Now, someone in chat asked, which team would you consider to be the best one in China right now? And I think we can all agree on the fact that E-Star is currently sitting on the throne. Probably one of the few teams who can face Korean teams on equal footing. Who would you put behind E-Star in the current situation in HGC China, though, Tetcher? From your personal opinion.
I think I would lead it towards CE. Maybe RPG,
yeah,
but at the moment I still lean towards CE over RPG.
I actually agree. I would actually say CE as well. Despite having teams like Super Perfect Team in there as well, or X Team, for example, they didn't really seem too convincing in week 1. So CE really turning up the heat. So let's see if they can maintain their form and continue to impress. Now we see Malf banned, Tassadar banned. A lot of supporting potential is gone. Wow, and they prioritize ETC over a Vala? That is very crazy.
Strange. So should, in theory, be a Vala first pick for SoA. They could also Li Ming or Greymane prioritize. There's 3 different assassins they could prioritize here, but Vala is usually the most popular one, just due to the safeness of your poke potential, and also it's Vala.
It is Vala, after all. If you go for that Hungering Arrow build on Battlefield of Eternity, you secure yourself the most damage possible in the game. Single target damage, that is, against non-heroic sources. Now we see Kharazim, which is a good support on Battlefield of Eternity. Don't get me wrong. Kharazim has an outstanding amount of single target damage if he goes for Iron Fist, which most teams by now have agreed on is the best support build on Kharazim, even if you're a solo support.
Yeah, Kharazim. 3 different builds we have seen over the course of his play on this map. Every level 1 talent is viable on this map for Kharazim. Yeah. That is the joy of it. Transcendence, you can get healing on the...
We saw it last week in China, absolutely dismantling people.
Indeed. We have Insight. This is probably the best map for it to work on because you can build up the stacks so quickly. and also to keep yourself sustained. And of course, Iron Fist help burst down Immortals and burst down heroes. Everything works for Karazim here.
And just to keep you guys updated as well, just in case you joined us a little bit later, we're playing on the Cassia patch. So we're playing with the updated ETC. And yet he continues to be such a dominant factor, getting prioritized over Avala on Battlefield of Eternity, for example. So we see the changed ETC with a lower health pool and a changed Rockstar passive trait, giving him armor now instead of attack speed to himself and the allies around him.
Indeed, it is pretty interesting to see. Leeming and Greymane coming in here. Leeming, once again, great poke potential. Greymane, cocktail build, also really good for the poke. Just working down those Immortals from range, the counters to the polar opposites. Oh, sorry, not the polar opposites, the mirrors to Valor in that sense there.
Yep. And we see Greymane, strong Worgen attacks, 10 armor, hashtag 10 armor can never be underestimated. I'm just sad that Uther no longer joins the fray here for the same reason. But, as we said earlier, Uther is going to get touched very, very soon by the developers. Actually, he has been touched already, and he will be receiving his rework on the live servers very, very soon. Does it actually come with Heroes 2.0, or are they going to release that later? Do you know?
You're asking me like I know. I didn't go to the summit.
Well, it was live there, so maybe they're going to release it with 2.0, which is in less than 2 weeks from now. Pretty hype.
Sweet. But yeah, you have way more information than I do, dude. I didn't go to the summit, so you have the information. I don't.
Just gonna say one thing once again, guys. Holy Fire at level 4. That's what I saw. I mean, I played Uther extensively, and trust me, he's gonna be more fun to play. He's gonna be more versatile than ever, and he's going to be your team's personal armor smith. Not gonna say more than that, though.
Ooh, lots of information there from Kendrick.
Take that information and do with it what you want.
But now, Zarya coming through the draft pretty late in it, but still very strong hero for this. And Anubarak has made it in, Kendrick.
Anubarak, finally he has been brought up here in the Chinese meta. Arthas and Anubarak, the two Northwind warriors, if you will, they haven't really had a lot of impact on the Chinese meta because they were never picked. And if they picked them more often, they would maybe start to realize how good those guys are in their current shape and form. Now, Anubarak is really, really solid against Li Ming. He actually was pre his rework as well, because his beetles can intercept Li Ming magic missiles. They can even intercept arcane orbs. He takes a lot less damage due to his innate magic armor. So it's a really, really good counter to Li Ming. Throughout the European tournaments and games over the last few months, we've actually seen different Anubarak builds. We saw Cocoon at level 10. We also saw the Locust Swarm, though. Remains to be seen which one the Chinese team SoA is going to prioritize, but Cocoon especially had a lot of value if it was cast on the supports on the enemy side, because that means no cleanse available, no healing available, and this allowed them to burst down individual targets a lot quicker.
And this could work here against Rhaegar. If you can Cocoon before the Ancestral can land, you have a very good chance of blowing people up.
Yeah.
An interesting pick from the side of CE here, the Alarak. They are bringing out that solo laner. And this is strange that on all other maps they would prioritize Thrall. On this map, though, Alarak takes priority.
Yeah, absolutely. He brings so much to the table. What? Medivh on Battlefield of Eternity?
That's a double pseudo support with the Zarya Medivh here. That's interesting. It's cool. We did see a lot of Medivh at the Western Clash, for example, as including on this map, where it still got really crazy value.
Okay. Normally, you're more used to seeing Medivh on maps like Towers of Doom, Infernal Shrines, where you can basically cover huge distances thanks to that portal. Battlefield of Eternity is a little bit smaller, but nevertheless, especially against that bursty team comp that CE brought to the table, I think Medivh gets a lot of value. Just imagine someone getting caught by that Alarak with a combo into silence. You help that target out with a Medivh shield and the portal, and all of a sudden all that value from Alarak gets annihilated. So I think it's a situational pick and a very good adaptive choice here, considering the fact that CE has such an explosive comp.
Yeah, we'll see if it works for them, as we're going to be loading into game number 3. Are CE going to perform a shutout and make their way to a 6-0 at the top of the table for the moment, or can SoA achieve what to them has so far been unachievable and win a map? We believe.
Hashtag we believe in the chat right now.
Yes, hashtag we believe. Give them the energy. For the moment, ladies and gentlemen, game number 3. And I am excited to see. So who is solo laning for who's solo lane for SoA here?
It has to be Medivh, I guess. Maybe
Zarya
Zarya?
could solo lane?
Yeah. I think Zarya is a good choice here as well because she adds a little bit more lane pressure and wave clear, I would say. Medivh is kind of dependent on landing Arcane Rift on an enemy hero in order to get that reset, or that almost instant reset and the mana regen. If he doesn't land it, he's going to have a longer cooldown on it, and I don't think he can wave clear very well without it. So maybe the Zarya is the better choice indeed. But you're right, the soul laning aspect is very questionable, but also something that I'm more afraid of is the single target DPS against Immortals with Zarya and Medivh in the fray. But for now, we're going to focus on Team SoA, who are still looking for their very first victory on a map. Medivh, Zarya, Anubarak, Kharazim, and Vala. Is it going to be enough? We will see.
They do have an incredible amount of sustain, whereas on the right side it is going to be CE with Rhaegar, ETC, Greymane, Alarak, and Li Ming. Their burst potential is kinda crazy, and Paradise has shown to be a very strong Alarak on this map and others. And we do see Zarya starting off with the energy talent at level 1.
So this is a very interesting choice because it gives her, after completion, it gives her more total energy. So she can hit harder and she will have energy for a longer period of time, even if it degenerates. So very interesting to see that variation of the build. It's a personal favorite of mine for sure. I like to play it in almost all of my Hero League games, but the grenade build is a little bit more common these days, and they do indeed send Anubarak into that soul lane. Poor Anubarak, because he's going to suffer hard if Greymane lands those vicious Worgen attacks on him.
Yeah, it is. He's going to be able to sustain through the cocktail fairly well. He just has to basically stay at range, stay out of auto attack range, and just poke down as best he can. It's going to be difficult, but it is still possible. But now, Zarya tanking through, great shield. She was silenced, but she was still able to get a lot of energy here. However, she did also get hit by an Arcane Orb and took a lot of damage. Kharazim in position, though, to heal up. He did go for Iron Fist, by the way, so for that immortal damage.
I like the reaction here from Zuyu on the Li Ming already, because he was so patient. He waited until Li Ming's, Medivh's shield expired. He waited for the personal barrier from Zarya to disappear, and only then would he shoot the Arcane Orb to really get the maximum value out of it. That was so well played, and they end up taking first blood as well. CE on a good path.
Yeah, and a really good point to make here as well is the fact that Greymane is solo laning for CE, and this is likely an adjustment to Anubarak solo laning.
I think so.
Because Alarak, all of his damage is ability powered, where Anubarak has damper magic. Greymane, great auto attack damage, so he can really outlane Anub, and you can see he's actually at half health here. Had to pull, but he's been getting poked down this entire time.
That is an excellent point for sure, and it really shows the flexibility and the adaptability from CE here, really knowing when to change the laning roster, really knowing when to change rotations, something that SoA wasn't really aware of in game number 2, and something that definitely sets CE apart from their counterparts here in this game.
Right now, CE moving in once again, putting a bit of focus onto Zarya. She seems to be their target for a lot of engagements here. And this time, though, they find Anubarak, and he is gone. Now it is Kharazim. He makes it through the portal, finds ETC, not the best place to be. The portal juggling, though, by SoA, very good. They're able to pull back to safety and do a decent amount of damage to the Immortal with Valor working it down this entire time. It does go over to CE, but with a very small shield.
Yeah, absolutely. Really, really good focus here as well from CE once again. They basically knew who to attack at the right time, and they just turned this first Immortal into their own. It's not really the most powerful one, and keep in mind the first Immortal usually is not powerful enough to take down a fort all by itself. However, no Sylvanas online either as well for CE this time.
ETC, careful. ETC with Crowd Surfer very nearly sending himself over the wall and putting himself in danger, but just able to stay on the correct sides of that. So they're now going to push in. Immortal already at half health, though, after barely breaking through the gate. So far, it's a very good defense by SoA, and with the damage from Kharazim, they're able to kill it off after one auto attack onto the fort. Good defense.
Good defense for sure, but you can really see how Kanjian is dominating this bottom lane. Destroying both towers already after 3 minutes and 35 is very, very impressive. And you can really tell how he doesn't have a hard time dealing with that Anubarak, because we said those Worgen attacks hit Anubarak like a truck, because his health pool is very limited, is very small. But now it looks like Kanjian actually overstayed his welcome here, getting chased by 3 people. Is he going to be able to survive? Shifting in human form?
Can they finish him off? There's the burrow. And that's enough to finish him off. Good kill there, coming in by SoA. Finally able to punish. Unfortunately, there is now a 3-man push in top lane with Impalers.
So you may as well consider this tactical feeding because you bought so much time and you created so much space for your remaining team members to actually go ham on that fort. So it was a death, but not a useless one, not an unnecessary one. In the meantime now, SoA trying to get some counter value in the bottom, but ETC is here to stay and defend. And trading a fort for 2 towers is definitely a good trade in favor of CE.
Yeah, Mask is taking a lot of harassment here, so this fort will go down because Mask's not going to be able to defend it anymore. Medivh just going to mount up, get some vision of the enemy team so that he can keep an eye and work out when they're going to rotate down to try and deal with this counter push in the bot lane.
Yep. Sorry for those lags in between. The clean feed that we have to use sometimes has its issues, but we're back to...
Yep.
Good shape.
I know
right
it is annoying,
right?
everyone, but you have to bear it. Yeah, I get it as well.
Okay.
I know it is annoying to everyone, but you want to bear in mind here, we are at the point in our time in history where we are sending a video feed from China to Europe in 14 seconds.
Yeah.
And it stutters once every couple minutes.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Bear that in mind.
Also keep in mind that today seems to be going a lot more fluently than last week, where we had downtimes, players disconnecting every now and then. So today is working out like a charm, production-wise, so we're definitely not going to complain about that.
So once again, playing on the aggressive onto the enemy immortal, this time, beginning that poke potential. Vala doing some good work there. Karazim, though, getting stunned up, but the protection from Medivh allowing him to tank through this. And as such, they're able to just sort of even up the immortal count.
Opaf took so much damage in the process, though, on the Vala. He just took a couple of arcane orbs to the face, and Zuyu, he's just such a menace. Look at that constant poking, that constant damage from afar. Now Zarya in trouble. Uncle G getting focused down, but the stun zone from the Blue Immortal actually help out to defend this.
He's able to survive through it, barely tanking through all that damage, keeping himself alive. But now, once again, the poke potential coming in from CE. They're working down the Immortal. Li Ming looking for shots. Sorry, not Dahaka. Anubrak giving his own body to block these shots here.
He took one for the team, aka for the Immortal here in that case, for sure, man. He shouldn't really take too many of those, because even though he has a hard carapace, it's not going to sustain him through infinity here. Now, another Arcane Orb connecting. Look at those constant missile barrage from Li Ming, chunking down huge portions of health of the enemy Immortal here. Nice cleanse, keeping Conjurin safe on the Greymane, but they lose Alok in the process.
Yeah, but they get the Immortal.
That's
so
the most important
CE
thing.
Losing a hero, as you said it before, tactical feeding. Losing the hero to guarantee them that Immortal, and it's a decent shield, just over half health this time.
Now look at the levels too.
We're seeing a little bit of Immortal focus here, once again by CE. Hammer on was ETC's level 7, so he's been helping burst down this Immortal a little bit more. But heroics are available. It is going to be Mosh Ancestral, Counter-Strike, Disintegrate, and go for the throat.
Yeah, and if you remember last game, guys, it didn't look like SoA had a lot to deal with that mosh pit. They were constantly caught in it. They don't have a lot of interrupts to begin with. Nubrak is the only one who can reliably interrupt it. Maybe the explosion zone from Zarya is also going to help out, and potentially a leyline seal, but those are all heroic abilities, and you all want to use those very carefully.
Karazim very nearly getting blown up, followed by Uncle G, nearly getting blown up. Mask attempting to be and immediately getting denied. That Zarya with the shield keeping him alive.
Oh!
With protection, the one-man mosh pit, the portal next to him, but you can't do it. He's in the dance. And the keep goes down. The Immortal still with half health.
Still with half health, but is it going to be enough to enforce something on the core? Level 10 is so close! And Nubrak was soaking in that top lane for a long period of time, but he still hasn't made it. Level 10 is just so close, they're not getting it though!
There's 10, they finally have it. We see Zarya trying to drop damage to Nubrak, distracting more than anything else, delaying the end push. And the expulsion zone is dropped, doesn't really get a huge amount of value, but Nubrak getting a good knock up onto Greymane. ETC comes through, Leyline Seal at the very tip, catches 2 heroes, can't get anything out of it. Counter-Strike nearly kills off Uncle G. And we see SoA, they're able to drive back the attack, but they weren't able to capitalize on it with any kills.
Yeah, huge turnaround by Alorek. That Counter-Strike almost took down the Vala and the Karazim, who were so low in health, and they really had to dodge it in the nick of time, which they did. So great reactions here for sure. Now Mask going in aggressively, and Kanjian, he knows that you don't want to mess with a Monk here in this choke point, because all of his teammates were nearby, while his own team was kind of far off. So I like the decision making, I like the giving up on that mercenary camp, but yeah, now they're fighting with even footing. But 13 is around the corner Tetcher once again, and it seems like whenever SoA is just catching up barely, there's another obstacle building up in front of them very shortly.
Yeah, there are lots of obstacles that have been in their way this entire time. Starter onto Karazim. Once again, protection coming in here. The expulsion zone as well to protect Mask, and that will allow them potentially to grab the 4. But no, they're going to retreat. They are too afraid of getting engaged upon.
Yep.
And they are in a full retreat
Swap,
situation
though.
here. Burrow used by a noob. In comes Alarak, getting some good damage. The Raid of Vengeance from Valor, though. Great defense, able to keep them alive. Now it is just a Noobrak, really, the only one in danger. The orb just short, and everyone from SoA gets out alive.
They're safe for now, but what are they going to do against that level 13 advantage that CE is currently rocking? The Locust Swarm on cooldown, but not really for long anymore. The expulsion zone ready as well, but CE, they're using their momentum, they're really using their presence on the battlefield to immediately attack that Immortal that literally just spawned for them, and the 50% are chunked down so heavily. A 4-man engaged though, the ley line!
The noob tried to stun in, but they were all in stasis here, so instead they go in for HGC. Marshman catches free, and noob walks into it!
Reset,
and it's
baby.
a massacre by CE, and noob getting chased down, burrows over the wall, but Greymane's there looking for him. They kill him off. It's a full wipe. And CE move in with that Fallen Shaman to go for the core and make it a clean 3-0.
Wow, just when I thought they finally had the engagement they were looking for, a 4-man leyline seal from Medivh, but unfortunately he gave his life in milliseconds in the process, and the turnaround was vicious and savage from CE. They showed no mercy, a 3-man mosh pit here in the end, and they're all smiles and very happy, and rightfully so, because they are continuing to be one of the most dominant teams in the Chinese HGC, going 6-0 after 2 weeks, and SoA unfortunately not able to deal any damage to CE in that game. Once again going down 0-3, making them 0-6 in total. But man, they showed some glimmers of hope in that first game when they dominated the early game. They just need to stabilize and really find themselves into a better shape.